Good morning, everyone. As the sun rises on Hurricane Milton, as you can see in the radar below, and boy, has it changed overnight. What we were seeing this morning is a significant decrease in the wind speed intensity and kind of the breadth of it right now. So good trend so far. I do expect that to change slightly today, but overall trend has been a little bit less. Still gonna be on the verge of being a major landfall near Tampa. But good news in that department as well. It does look like it's trying to shift more southward of Tampa. And if you caught my live last night, that's a good thing because it really prevents that inlet from getting flooded into it. Um, so let's get into some of the data. I'm showing you infrared satellite imagery right now, and this basically shows it's a clear picture at night of what the hurricane's doing and kind of the temperature at the top of the clouds. First thing you'll notice is the eye here. I'll draw the outline now. It's kind of overnight, at like 5, it was kind of muggy and closed off, and now you're starting to see the reds in it again. And basically, what's that a sign of is it completed what we call an eye wall replacement cycle overnight. And basically, that just says hurricane's reorganizing. It's often followed by a strengthening intensity. So far, we haven't had any data from it to suggest that it has. And the shape of it is um, pretty much the same as it was last night. Maybe a little bit wild, but the intensity of wind field is different. Just reading off some of the current stats on it. Maximum winds was 130 knots, which is the low end of a Category 4 hurricane right now. Pressure was 929 millibars, so pressures came up quite a bit. Radius of maximum winds is about 10 miles, and then about 25 miles away is the wind's maximum hurricane force. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the National Hurricane Center's graphics and we'll just kind of talk over them a little bit. Let me get set up here. Okay, so again, timing really hasn't changed on this. We do think it's going to hit Thursday, early Thursday morning, like 1 a.m. midnight somewhere in there, and then some off the coast by late day Thursday. The eye will be off by noon Thursday, and then around the night on Thursday is when kind of the effects will wind down on the east coast of Florida. But again, expecting a landfall close to Tampa. Also better design. Here in a few minutes, just kind of zoom in on where we think the landfall will be. The National Hurricane Center did expand the hurricane warning to go coast to coast in Florida. Um, and again, of course, you have your tropical storms with some hurricane watches out. Again, primary effects will only be in Florida with some effects on the Georgia and South Carolina coast, but those should remain tropical storm if any effects are seen now. I did say keep warning about tropical surge, storm surge last night. Again, current forecast is still at 10 to 15 range. This is starting to look like a better forecast. We have to see what that eye wall replacement cycle is going to do before we kind of nail in these numbers as what's probably going to happen. But really, 10 to 15 still Antelope River to Inglewood, 5 to 10 foot from Yanktown to Bonita Beach, 4 to 7 from Bonita to Chocoloke, and then 35 foot on the outer parameters. On the backside, we are expecting 2 to 4 feet from Sebastian Inlet all the way up to Edisto Beach, South Carolina. Rainfall has trended a little bit upward overnight. Again, we can see about 12, 13, 14 inches of rain on that forward left side of this. Kind of an anomaly though, but 12 to 14 maybe throughout now. So just north of Tampa and north of Orlando is kind of where we are thinking the heaviest rain bands are going to be this morning. And then quickly tapering off as you get away from that zone with 4 to 8 inches probably being the most common, but 8 to 12 as well. Kind of trended away from the Florida Keys in terms of precip. So good sign for those folks. Um, did have an upgrade to a high risk of flooding for Tampa Bay, Orlando, and Northwood. Jacksonville, down to the Everglades is a moderate risk for flooding, and then slight risk for much of the rest of Florida. As far as that arrival time, the earliest reasonable time is Wednesday morning along the west coast of Florida, and then around 8 p.m. Wednesday on the east coast of Florida. Most likely, we're talking about Wednesday midday on the west coast of Florida, and then Thursday night on the east coast of Florida. Let's drill down and take another look at where we think the hurricane's gonna make landfall right now. So you can see the hurricane in the Gulf. It's starting its turn northward, so we'll be watching that very closely. How much does it wobble? Well, as it makes it turn back eastward exactly, all important decisions, but kind of we're getting more confident in where this landfall is going to occur. So let me take that hurricane off. Boom. And now we're left with sea surface temperatures. So it's still warm, still plenty of fuel, but what's happening is just seals just kind of changing the environment a little bit. Potentially strengthening here in the next couple of hours. Watching that very closely. It's trying to get its act together. Definitely getting a more well-defined eye wall, but remains to be seen if it can hit that Category 5 speed again. But we are expecting a Category 3 at landfall, just south of Tampa, north of Bradenton. That's kind of the best guess of landfall. Tampa Bay, you can still expect to see maybe a landfall. Anywhere down from Fort Myers all the way north to Hillsdale, Hermosa Springs, Florida. Anywhere here is where we could see landfall, with most likely being around the Tampa area, but just south of Tampa. Which, if you were again, is Bell for the storm surge for that area, because it's kind of dispersed out more instead of being funneled into the inlet there. So definitely one of the best situations are playing out based on the data that's been coming back the last few days. Hopefully it does continue, and then we do expect it to weaken as it moves across Florida into a Category 1 hurricane. So we expect it to weaken quite a bit. So yeah, wind speeds at landfall forecast around 120 to 135. And by the time it pushes out, we are looking at more of an 85 mile per hour winds. Definitely enough to do damage, so don't think, hey, it looks better, it's super safe now. No, it's still a very dangerous hurricane. Please continue to heed evacuation notices. Um, get out of there. Just follow local orders. Follow your local emergency management. They have more familiarity with your area than I do. So I'm just trying to bring you the latest up-to-date information and help you make decisions based on everything. Some of the model data that we've seen in the past couple of hours that's came in indicates definitely the possibility of a weaker landfall. The trend is very much downward in it, with a Category 3, lower in Category 3 being expected at landfall. May can some models suggest Cat 4, but those are the outliers, and I just don't see it be maintaining its strength as a Category 4. It's already having trouble in its environment at this point in time. So that's kind of the good news. The bad news, as I said, it's predicted to hit overnight on Thursday, kind of peak intensity. And what that means is it will hit right around peak tide. Peak tide on Thursday morning is around 3:10 a.m. So it's gonna hit basically right as the tides is the highest, so that storm surge is gonna be able to go more inland, and be kind of higher. So that's kind of the bad news in terms of the tide. Now, this forecast is for Tampa, by the way. Um, Models. I'll run through a couple of scenarios here, so you can kind of see right in here is kind of the eye, and it does move kind of south of Tampa. So again, good news there. Um, I'll go ahead and show you the shield. So you can see we have significant seal. You can see 3 bars here, 38 knots, 40 knots. If you look at the speed out, so that's enough to do a lot of damage to the hurricane's ability to strengthen. So even though we have that plenty of fuel in the Gulf of Mexico right now, that shows kind of limiting it and will weaken the hurricane. We do expect that hurricane to grow with the seal though, as it kind of just broadens out. So that's kind of the trade-off with this storm. It will be weaker, but we'll get more of an impact area with this storm. So again, plenty of seal. So hurricane's gonna be nice and broad. Excuse me. And we'll just go ahead and finish out with some of the hurricane warning texts. And keep you updated throughout the day. Again, I do plan on going live tonight. To cover some of the latest data that's coming in. Hurricane warning. Latest local forecast is a Category 2 hurricane force winds. This is a little bit inland. Peak winds is 85 to 105 miles per hour with wind gusts up to 120. Tropical storm force winds will remain until Thursday afternoon. Um, 6 to 10 inches of rain is anticipated. Again, this situation is favorable for tornadoes, so we will see tornadoes with this storm, more so than with Helene. So definitely expect a few tornado warnings to pop up there, and obviously tornadoes are a little bit more of a drill bit than the hurricane itself. Still, it does plenty of damage. Um, Again, if we look at more of a coastal area, it should have this storm surge warning on it. And again, a little bit north, Category 1 force winds, but still 9 feet and above, all the way up to 15 foot is possible with this. And just for all the folks on the east coast of Florida, we'll go ahead and take a look at this hurricane warning. Again, equivalent Category 1 hurricane force winds, 60 to 80 with 90 mile per hour gusts. Obviously, it's a threat to life and property. Still potential for it to be a Cat 2, although I just don't see it right now. Again, 6 to 10 inches of rain. Tornadoes possible. Continue to heed local emergency management, local officials, obey evacuations. Definitely helps everybody involved. And continue prepping for the hurricane. Again, today's your last day. It's gonna hit. Tomorrow is probably too late to do anything. So again, as winds arrive by late tomorrow evening, you'll definitely, if you are evacuating, you'll want to be in your safe space at that time. Um, yeah, so that's all I'm seeing this morning. Hopefully this was a nice little update. Remember to hit that like button, that subscribe button. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll try to get back to them. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay prepared, and just listen to local authorities. Thank you very much. Bye.